have representatives. You're right. Oh, that won't hurt anyone.
Drop it.
That won't hurt anyone.
Drop it. Drop it. Get off. Don't touch my shit. I think that men cannot be women, and a lot of people disagree with that, so I'm inviting people to come talk about it.
I mean, I think in a biological sense that's true, but I don't understand the purpose of the argument. Like, what does it affect?
It affects the people who think that men can be women. What are you talking about?
I just don't see how this is. It's clear that having this discussion isn't going to change your perspective or change ours. You're clearly just on this campus because everyone will disagree with you and they'll see this and be like,
"That's not true. That's not true."
I find it like
everyone here doesn't agree with me. I was flipped this note earlier. I've had a lot of people. Thank you for being here because you guys intimidate people and make them think that they can't speak out loud.
No, I'm just curious why you care so much. Like why you care so much to make a sign and say
because I don't think that society should be subscribing to an objective falsehood.
Okay.
I think that it.
Like, why is it
I think that it degrades the truth, and I think the truth is important.
I mean, you have a president who doesn't care about the truth.
Okay, congratulations.
Well, I mean,
is that the topic here, or?
I mean, it's off topic, but I mean, it aligns with your hat.
Okay.
I think a true conservative or a true libertarian wouldn't support Donald Trump in anything.
Okay, that's great. Well, we're not talking about Trump today.
Why do you care about people doing things differently? Like someone like.
Because now it's being written into law.
Isn't going to change
no, but you know what does change things is Leah Thomas breaking every single record he competed in at the University of Pennsylvania and stripping those accolades from the women at that school, winning the NCAA championship and stripping that accolade from a woman. What it does affect is Peyton McNabb, who was spiked in the face with a volleyball, flew backwards and smashed her head off of the ground and received a concussion and a brain injury.
You know,
that's a problem. She has a brain injury. It does because it's being written into law. It's being made policy.
I do believe that trans women shouldn't, like, the whole Leah Thomas thing, it does bother me as somebody who was a swimmer. I mean, I think it shouldn't have been allowed to get that far, but also there are only, what is it? Is it 8 or 12 trans women?
It doesn't matter. One is enough. It doesn't matter. One is enough. The policy is being changed, and Leah Thomas changed with his penis out in front of a bunch of women in those swimsuits. The race, you know, well, you're not a woman, but like the women's racing suits are small and they take forever to get out of. So you're sitting there 20 minutes in front of a dude with the penis out in the girls' locker room. It's terrible. No, because Leah Thomas was viewed as a woman and he was not a woman. I agree.
You can't get there with dogmatic whataboutism, just saying.
How is this a whataboutism?
I feel like, I mean, you've said it before. If you think that men can't be women, and you simply restate that fact, there's not a room for discussion there.
Well, then you don't disagree. If you think that men can't be women, then we agree. But Leah Thomas, for example, is an example of the policy driven by the opposite of this statement being put into action.
I think personal identity and trans individuals in sports is a completely separate situation. In that context, very much matters.
It's the exact inverse of this view being placed into policy. The allowance of men to compete in women's sports is driven by the belief that men can be women, but they cannot. And
I believe the argument is only valid in terms of sports and not really for any other aspect of society.
Okay, so if it's valid in terms of sports, men cannot be women. It's valid in all cases because men cannot be women.
Because
Absolutely.
IFBB pro bodybuilders can use steroids all the fuck they want, but you can't.
They can't. It's illegal. You cannot use performance-enhancing drugs in any sport.
IFBB pros do. They're all on at least a gram of tests.
Okay, testosterone is not an performance-enhancing drug.
I mean, it is a hormone that does very much affect how your body.
And I don't think that athletes should be. I don't think athletes should be allowed to take any kind of drug, whether it's testosterone or any kind of like performance enhancing supplement.
Outside of sports, do you think
whatever
you can use steroids, whatever?
No, it's illegal. Is it illegal to use steroids? I'm not familiar. I don't know.
I mean, it depends on what you're using. I mean, you can get like scientific.
I don't know. I think it's irrelevant.
But the point is that you can have.
I think adults should be allowed to do whatever they want.
aspects of society.
Right. So I think that men, if
sports on its own is an entirely separate issue.
it's not separate. If you think that men cannot be women, then men cannot be women, right? If a woman wants to wear a t-shirt or a man wants to wear a dress, that is fine with me. They're adults; they can do whatever they want. But men should not be allowed into women's bathrooms. Men should not be allowed into women's sports. Okay, I don't care how you want to dress or how you want to make yourself appear, but we shouldn't be teaching people that an objective falsehood is the truth and then basing policy off of that objective falsehood.
The problem is, though, you take these very, very specific situations and you apply them to degrade the livelihoods and personal freedoms of people as a whole.
I'm not degrading anyone's personal freedoms, right? Again, if you want to be a man and wear a dress, you can do that. Right, you can self-identify however you want, but that doesn't make you a woman, right? You can pretend to be a woman, doesn't make you a woman. I think that as an adult, you should be allowed to pretend to be a woman if you so choose. It shouldn't be illegal for you to do that. But you are not a woman, and you shouldn't base policy off of the belief that you are a woman, right? i.e. allowing men into women's sports, i.e. allowing men into women's bathrooms.
What about the fact that a woman is way more likely to be assaulted by some man walking into a women's restroom than any trans?
Well, that's a great point. If you allow men into women's restrooms, the rate of that happening is going to...
It's against the rules if a straight hetero man does the same thing. It would still be...
Right. So if you say trans people are allowed into women's bathrooms and you say gender is fluid and you can become a woman whenever you want, now heterosexual men can walk into women's bathrooms. This is actually exactly my point. The rate of assaults from trans people is much lower than the rate of assaults from heterosexual men,
And I don't think
right?
enabled
But if you allow, it is absolutely enabled if you say men can go into women's bathrooms, because now predatory men have a free pass to walk into women's
They'll
bathrooms.
do it anyways.
I think the problem is...
It's illegal. It's illegal otherwise.
I think the problem is...
Assault in the first place is illegal. Them
Right.
going into the bathroom is a much
It
lesser legality.
it just reduces a barrier for them.
I think the problem with this is it's not about a barrier. It's about creating policy that's meant to vilify. You're not going to have a bathroom guard outside of every bathroom doing genital checks. That's just absurd. And
No,
a
but
violation.
making it illegal for men to go into women's bathrooms is another barrier for predators.
Would you call it a misdemeanor?
What?
Would you call it a misdemeanor if that was...
Would I say that it should be a misdemeanor?
Yeah, or an actual criminal offense?
I don't know. Probably a misdemeanor. A misdemeanor is a criminal offense.
I
I
know,
don't
but
know.
like compared to like an actual...
Like a felony? No, I don't think it should be a
I think
felony.
the policy, though, it serves no actual purpose because it's not going to implement any change.
It does. It prevents this. It prevents women from competing in men's sports. It prevents prevents both. It prevents men and women from competing in each other's sports, and it prevents both from going into each other's bathrooms.
I think ultimately the problem is you're taking very niche issues that do not represent a vast majority of the trans population.
Evidently, it's not niche, or you wouldn't be here talking to me.
Well, I just really think...
I just think it's niche enough to the point where it doesn't make sense to vilify it.
You think that men being women is a niche topic? I think it's one of the most talked about topics in today's society.
It's talked about because people
Because people think men can be
like
women.
to try to be victimized. You can see it throughout all of politics, but particularly right now.
Yeah, you see it right here. This is where I see it.
You can see it most from the right side of the aisle, right? You have people way over, like I guess I can't pull out a specific statistic, but you see it when people feel as though they're victimized or they're told they're victimized by a certain population of people, you end up with them massively overestimating issues. When it comes to
like this.
People, if you asked, like, the average person, if you asked a neo-Nazi, what percent of the population in the world are Jews? They might be like, maybe like 1 or 3%, when the actual answer is like maybe 0.2%. You see the same thing with trans people, where they'll estimate it's definitely, like, before it was popular, it was probably like less than 1%. But
I don't
now
know
it's
or
gotta be
care
at
the
least
population percentage of trans people. I don't know or care.
that it's at least 5% of people are trans.
Well, not like LGBT. I think the percentage for trans is lower. But
No, much lower. For sure. LGBT as a whole, yeah, that's much lower.
among youth, it's hitting the tier 5.
And that doesn't surprise me, but LGBT isn't the same as trans. And then it's also like when you have all these people are like, oh, well, it's only happening now because it's a trend. You see the same thing with RFK talking about autistic people being like, there were no autistic people like this when I was a kid. And why? Because they were institutionalized or lobotomized, right? Like they bring up these things as though they're new issues that are only happening because of social justice warriors and this and that. But really, I mean, the Romans had femboys. Like it's not a new thing. And it's also still a very small thing. And so when people act like it's a way larger issue than it is, like I said, I disagree, or I agree with you on the Leah Thomas stuff. I think the NCAA should not have let it get that far. Okay?
I don't think that it's very small. I think that I don't care what the population percentage of trans people is. I care. One second. I care that the majority of, or at least maybe not a majority, but a very large, almost a majority, a slim minority of the people in this country think that men can be women. That is my problem. It's not about how many trans people there are. It's about the fact that a very slim, probably minority of people in this country think that it is an objective fact that men can just be women.
Say what other people should or shouldn't be. It's not our place to dictate.
Can I be a lizard? Can I be black, actually?
I mean,
I'm a black man. Can I be black?
if
you
wanna
can do that. Like, I
you
don't
want to say that, you will.
You think I can be a black man? I think that's ridiculous.
objectively, like,
I think you can claim to be.
Right, and I think a man can claim to be a woman, but it doesn't make it true.
Different situation though.
It's not.
The concept of race is very much rooted in physical appearance.
And so is being a woman.
Yes, and someone can transition to look like a woman, and they can change.
So what if I paint myself brown and walk out? Am I
painting yourself
black?
brown is different than injecting melanin into all of the cells in your body.
What if I do that? Does that make me black?
I guess, but I think that would.
I'm not a black man.
I know you're not.
I will never be a black
what
man.
I'm saying is that I don't really care how people choose to like identify. Like, I don't think it's an issue.
Would you care if I painted my skin brown and walked around this campus pretending to be black? Would that bug you?
I would say that's more of an issue because it's
Right.
rooted
So
in
how do you-
Jim Crow and blackface.
So how do you think women feel when they see men masquerading as women, claiming to be just as good as an actual woman, claiming that growing out your hair and injecting estrogen and trying to make yourself present as a woman is the same as actually being a woman?
Because
I think it's offensive.
I don't see a basis of hate behind it as the way I do with blackface.
I'm not. Well, hate is only based on intent. So if I paint myself brown without the intent of being offensive, why is it wrong for me to do it?
Because you'd have to be able to see the historical precedent that comes.
I'm not doing it because of the historical precedent. The historical precedent is independent of what I'm doing.
I think the question is, why would you be doing that?
I think the question is, why would men be pretending to be women?
Because they feel that way.
What if I feel black?
I mean, there's no illegality relating to you doing that. Like, you can do that, and that's fine. That won't change your.
But it's wrong. You think it's wrong.
I mean, I don't.
The problem is turning it into policy. You take away free choice and action, because I believe there's inevitable social consequences in transitioning or coming out as trans, right? And truthfully, while I might not agree with people on a personal level of how they respond, it is ultimately everyone's free choice to respond in their own way to how people present or act, because that's what free speech and free action is.
I agree with you. I don't have any disagreement there.
The problem is, by putting it into policy, you're not making it a thing of social consequences.
It's going into policy either way. It's either going to be men can be women or men can't be women, because we do have gender exclusive spaces in this country, like sports and like bathrooms. And regardless, one way or the other, it always has been in policy, actually, that women are in this sports category and men are in this sports category, and women go to this bathroom and men go to this bathroom.
I feel like the problem is you're presenting it as a black and white.
It is black and white. You're either a man or a woman.
You guys are living the highest.
I don't agree. I think the problem is you have to take everything by context, and you have to be fluid and variable with how you approach policy.
I think the context is you either have XY chromosomes or XX chromosomes. You're either a man or you're a woman.
So are you saying that if it was completely possible to change those chromosomes within a person, then that would make a man who fully, let's say some procedure like that existed, to completely change a man into a woman, would that not, by your definition then, make a man into a woman?
Okay, well, that technology doesn't exist, first of all. You'd have to change every cell in the body. Then you'd also have to deal with the bone density and muscle density problem. And you'd also have to deal with the height, biological height difference problems. If you could eliminate all of that, this is true, but if you could take all of that off the table and take all of the things that a man has more of on average, and somehow completely removed that from the equation, then fine. But that doesn't exist.
I still think that only applies to sports, especially when trans women have like the highest rates of hate crimes.
Why do you think that women are more likely to be raped than men?
Specifically because of those things like muscle density, and
Right.
stuff like that, but they're way
Exactly.
statistically
So we shouldn't allow them into women's
likely to
bathrooms.
be raped by a man than they ever are a trans woman.
That's fine, exactly. So we shouldn't open up an avenue for men to be allowed into women's
Culture
spaces.
Is way more of an issue than
We don't have a culture of rape in the United States. But if you want to make it easier for rapists to rape people, allow them into women's locker rooms.
Prosecuted and uncharged.
Because the majority of people who are raped don't go to the police, and that's also a problem.
you
That's
do, it
actually,
is really-
that's actually completely false.
It is not completely false.
Take any state, there will be a exorbitant excess of untested and unpursued rape kits of physical evidence.
Because rape kits, you can only perform a rape kit within a certain window after the rape happens. So if it's 48 hours and you go to the police 72 hours later, a rape kit isn't going to be useful.
Well, I think that's the thing. You have these rape kits that they are taken, but they are never actually implemented. They take this physical evidence and they throw it away.
Where did you read that they throw rape kits away?
They don't throw it away, but they.
You just said they throw it away. So which is it?
Exactly as you said. That 72-hour window. They're not testing it. They're
Right? They
basically-
can't, because they can't.
But why?
Are you aware of how a vagina works?
But no,
A
that's,
vagina cleans itself.
no, what I'm saying to you.
The
right?
DNA is no longer there 72 hours later.
You're
That's the problem.
misconstruing my point.
I'm not misconstruing your point. First you said they throw the rape kits away. Then you said they don't throw the rape kits away. Then you said, well, why can't they do it after 72 hours? Why is it only 48 hours they can perform a rape kit? And it's because a vagina cleans
You're not
itself.
testing the rape kits adequately.
Again, because if you don't report a rape until the window for performing a rape kit is over, you can't perform a rape
These are
kit.
rape kits that have been fully tested. They have evidence.
So now they're throwing them away again.
They have rape kits with evidence. Stockpiles, millions of rape kits.
Where did you read this?
I've looked at multiple sources.
Like what?
I can pull up right now this.
Please show me that there are millions of rape kits across the country that are completely unused.
That there is almost a culture of allowing rape in the U.S.
If there was a culture of allowing rape in the United States, we wouldn't prosecute rapists and send them to prison. If you want a culture of rape, go to the Middle East.
They're not prosecuting.
Wait. Do you think nobody's in jail for prison for rape?
I mean,
It is illegal to rape people in this country. If you want a culture of rape, go to the Middle East where it is legal to rape people.
Maybe we don't propagate racist propaganda.
Do you think that it's not illegal or that it's not legal to rape people in the Middle East?
It's not legal.
It's legal in Yemen. It's legal in Saudi Arabia. It's legal in Syria. It's legal in Lebanon. It's
Speaking to somebody who served active duty in the United States military.
congratulations. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, just like your shitty little sign and your shitty little
Just
hat.
because you served in the armed forces does not mean that you know more about the Middle East than me.
Actually, it does because it was an Arabic linguist, dumbass.
Where were you an Arabic linguist?
In Monterey, that's where they train all linguists.
Okay,
Who
and
are
where did you serve?
served in California and I served in Washington State.
Okay, so
You don't need
not
to
in the
deploy-
Middle East.
You don't need to deploy. To the
So
Middle East
why
to
so
serve
why
in
does this
countries.
mean that you know more about the Middle East than me? I'm confused.
Guarantee you, I know more.
Thank
about
you
the
for your service, but why does this mean you know more about the Middle East than me?
Oh, please tell me what are your credentials?
I've read books.
Good job, my master's.
It is
in
it
Middle
is
East
it is
Studies.
it is legal to rape your wife in Afghanistan, Yemen, Saudi Arabia.
It's actually part of South Asia.
It's part
Go
of the
look at
Middle
a map.
East. It is illegal. It is legal to rape your wife in Iran, Afghanistan. Sorry. How about go to the Arab world? Sorry, does that make it better?
No, because you're still wrong.
There are name me a country where it's not where it's illegal to rape your wife in the Arab world. Okay, Egypt is one. Name another one.
That was my area of specialty.
Name another one. I can name you dozens where it's legal to rape your wife, and it's also legal to marry children, which means you can rape children.
It's legal to marry children here too.
No,
dumbass.
it's not.
Yes, it is. Tell me that in Missouri, the state where I am from, that it is not legal to have a parent sign off for a minor to marry.
If you're 17, right?
Younger than 17.
In Iran, in Afghanistan, in Saudi Arabia, in Gaza, there is no legal age for marriage. You can legally marry a 1-year-old. In Yemen, the legal not Yemen. Yemen, there's no legal age for marriage. In why can't I think of what country it is?
But you know what?
In Sudan, it's 10.
Let me tell you, the laws don't prevent rape here. As someone who was raped while I was
But
in
at
the
least
military,
it's illegal here.
It might be illegal, but what does it matter if it's not enforced?
Because
Just
if
as
somebody
he was
rapes
saying-
somebody, they
just
go to
as he
you
was
can.
saying Donald Trump was convicted,
He wasn't convicted.
Civilly liable.
He was
civilly liable.
What is the burden of proof? It's not the same. What is the burden of proof in criminal court?
Do I look like a fucking
The burden
lawyer?
of proof in that case would be the rape kit. Which
No. Burden of proof is beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, what is the burden of proof in civil court?
Do I look like
It
a
is
fucking
50.1%. Just, well, you might have done it. That's the burden of proof in civil court. What was the primary piece of evidence in Donald Trump's case?
her testimony? And
Well,
testimony
no,
of whether-
it wasn't. That's wrong. No. The primary piece of evidence was the fact that Donald Trump said he had never seen her before, E. Jean Carroll, and then they found a photo that she took with him
In
from
addition
40 years ago.
It's not made up of representatives. You're right.
Whoa.
That won't hurt anyone.
Drop
That
it.
won't hurt anyone.
Drop it. Drop it. Get off me. Don't touch my shit. Let me just rebuild this real quick.
Brennan,
I will too.
Nobody knew the support they did. I'm sure if you give him a moment, he'll.
It's freedom of speech for you.
Oh, dude, you got the balls.
What's that?
We got the ball that thing.
Yeah.
So you're done for today.
No, I'm not done. No, I don't get scared away.
Yeah.